Alright, so this video is going to be different from the other ones I've been putting out so far. There's going to be a narrative, there's going to be storytelling, as opposed to it being a montage of just different clips from showdowns and free roam wars and other things like free roam events. But, I'll also preface this by saying that I did have respect for the free aim community that was very present on Red Dead Online, but just after this interaction, I just really lost a lot of respect for, those particular individuals, SMG Warchief and SMG Finest. Warchief just kind of exposed himself as this pompous guy. He just, surrounds himself with his YouTube groupie subscriber base, I guess, because, he needs to inflate his ego. And SMG Finest, he just seems like an asshole, and that's just that. Alright, so how this all started was my boy Tsunami. He's been practicing free aim for like 2 weeks. He wanted to fight somebody that bills themselves as this premier free aim player. And he's had, Warchief on his friends list for a while now, since before he changed his name and everything. And Warchief agrees. So Warchief shows up in Armadillo, and he reforms his posse, and Tsunami hops in his posse, and he turns on friendly fire, and they go inside the corral, and they start shooting at each other. And so, from what I'm being told in the party chat that I'm in, because I'm not there yet, Tsunami is cooking up Warchief. I think he was up 3-1 at one point, and that's when Warchief starts accusing him of cheating. He accuses him of auto-aiming, even though it's not possible when you are in the same posse and when you have friendly fire turned on. And I guess Warchief was getting upset that he was getting cooked by somebody who's an auto-aimer who doesn't normally do free aim. So what he does is he calls in SMG Finest to jump my friend. So in this first clip, it's just me joining up on Xavier, who's there watching, and when I get there, it's Tsunami and Warchief's posse, and I guess Warchief got killed because he spawned in far away, and Tsunami's just in the box waiting for Warchief to get back, and out of nowhere, Finest just runs in and shoots Tsunami. Obviously, Finest isn't there to 1v1 because, one, he has cards on, and under their rules, you're not supposed to have cards equipped when you're 1v1ing, and two, he's not in the same posse as them. So obviously, he's not there to 1v1, he's not there to shoot a fair one, he's just there for a jump. This clip is short, but I wanted to include it because it just really shows you how NPC these guys are. They're ducking, they're hiding, they're doing the most to avoid getting shot. And I mean, Finest is literally doing just that. He's ducking, he's hiding, he's doing all this extra stuff. So at this point, the 1v1 is pretty much over, and it's just Warchief and Finest jumping Tsunami, and Xavier joins up to help. I don't join up because I can't free aim for shit, and I would just been dead weight. This clip doesn't really do anything to move the story along. I just thought it was funny, so I included it. Alright, so at this point, we actually go and full out and fight these guys. Tsunami takes Warchief, and Xavier and I take Finest. And as you can tell, like I said, I really can't free aim for shit. But also, I managed to stay in defensive mode because I noticed that's what these guys do in their videos. They just hide in defensive mode, and they force people who don't normally free aim to free aim because that's the only way they can actually beat them. Alright, so in this clip, I decided to switch my sniper just because I feel like it's a lot easier to free aim that as opposed to just trying to get close to these guys. So I run to the store to buy ammunition for it and run out the store, and I follow Xavier and follow Finest. We're just trying to dog him pretty much. and I actually managed to get the kill on him. And I think in this fight, I think that was probably the first kill that I had. And I managed to, I think, shoot him in the back, like while he's trying to run away or something. Alright, so this one is a sequence of like, what, 5 clips? The first two don't really serve the purpose of moving the story along, I just thought they were funny. His Finest restocking at the post office because he was shooting off a lot of duds and not really hitting us, which I think is funny because he usually tells people that they have to hit their shots when he was just missing a lot of his. And then obviously the second one is him also missing a lot of shots and also getting hit by the train. And then the third one is just me, like against Warchief. I think he downs me and I respawn in time. And then the last two are me killing him with the sniper. Alright, so these two clips are of me fighting Finest. The first clip, he managed to kill me with the Carcano, so I just left that one in there because, I mean, it's a pretty good kill. But the second one, I come back and I managed to kill him after a few shots. Alright, so this clip is just of me waiting in town for Finest after I kill him with the sniper. And pretty much what he does is he just ducks the whole time, like he just waits for me to push. But I've seen enough of his videos to know that he's going to be doing that corner peek thing, so I just wait for him to make a move. But if you also look at the kill feed, you'll see Xavier and Tsunami just cooking up Warchief, and you'll just see like how defenseless these guys are without defensive mode. Like they need people who auto aim to be forced to free aim in order to actually get kills on them. But, you know, Finest does finally make a move, and he does jump on top of a barn roof to take cover up there and peek and shoot at me from there. But once his head is finally exposed for long enough, I'm able to get a pretty quick headshot on him. Alright, I'll let the commentary run on these next few clips. So at this point, Finest leaves after Xavier and I kill him like a little more. So I guess he knew when to duck out and when to say when. But Warchief does stay and he calls in his groupies for backup. And they manage to get put back in defensive mode, so they do have an advantage over us by forcing us to play in their same playstyle. And they also are taking less damage too. It's like a 40% reduction. But by the clips, you can tell like how ridiculous the whole thing is. It's just them in defensive mode hip firing and missing a lot of shots at us while we run around them. I'm not a very good sniper and not very good at free aim, but Tsunami and Xavier do actually manage to drop like a few of them. In this clip, it's just us like running around and getting like chased and everything. One of them does actually manage to kill me, but I mean it's stupid because he was just literally chasing me around for like 2 minutes, just hip firing a shotgun, like missing like every single shot. And so I finally get staggered and I'm standing still, and then he can actually hit me. But we do manage to get put back in defensive mode, so at least like we do take a reduced amount of damage, which is the same as them. And these next few clips are just like random ones from the fight. Some of them show me killing some people, some of them show Xavier and Tsunami killing some other people. Some of them, I think one of them is like one of those guys like in defensive mode again, doing that hip firing, like following you around, like it's just that whole like ridiculous thing. But I just wanted to let it run for like a little bit so you could see like the kill feed. They were killing us like a little bit, but you know we were killing them a lot more than they were killing us. And keep in mind that they were also taking 40% less damage for the most part. I think Warchief might have actually been knocked out of defensive mode at one point for high hostility, so at that point he was just like pretty easy to kill. I think I like one tapped him like a bunch of times with the sniper. And I mean, like I said, I'm not a good sniper by any stretch of the imagination, but I was actually like managing to kill him, so it was pretty good for me, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, this guy Kyle, He's a pretty good shot. He was really good with the sniper. And I really don't think he should be, messing with these clowns and being a SMG groupie. I think he could actually be like a really good player. So if he sees this, man, hit me up and you want to join a real PvP crew, like, we got you. Alright, Warchief leaves the lobby at this point, and probably 20 minutes later he decides to come back. He spawns in on the guy that was still in defensive mode. I think he was the only one that was left in the lobby. And we just start griefing Warchief. The guy that's in defensive mode doesn't fight back at all because he knows he's going to get knocked out of defensive mode, and they know that, it's the only way he can fight. So Warchief is getting cooked by himself. It's like we're all pretty much taking turns, like, killing him. And we push him from Armadillo to, like, Coots Chapel. And then after that, he's just waiting on his horse. And Xavier goes in and gets, like, a hog. I think he bullets him and tries to get a hog tie on him, but he manages to respawn himself, and he ends up all the way in Hannigan's stead. And, we pull back and decide to just go hang out in Armadillo, because if he actually wants to fight, he'll come to us. And we don't want to play that defensive mode sniper game or whatever, so we just wait around in town and wait for him to show back up. Alright, so here's the bola and the attempted hog tie, but he respawns himself in time. And you can see that once he spawns back in, he's pretty far away from us. He's like on top of the cliffs that separate Cholla Springs from the rest of New Austin and Hannigan's Stead. And then these are just the clips of us leaving the area, getting on our horses and riding back to Armadillo to regroup and fight him in the event that he decides to come back and fight us. So we finally get back to Armadillo, and we're just sitting there, we're waiting around, and I go through the posse list and the player list, and I notice that they call in this new guy, and I also notice that Warchief is pink again, so they're probably going to try to slip back into defensive mode. And then that's when this Rocky dude shows up again, and we're just taunting back and forth with emotes, and while he's distracting us, it looks like Warchief just runs up behind Tsunami and downs him. And the horses get scared and everybody scatters and Xavier gets knocked on the ground. But I managed to kill Warchief and I managed to kill the other dude that was with them and revive Tsunami before he dies. I don't have any more clips, but we were pretty much just trolling them at this point. They do get back into defensive mode, and when we see that, we just decided to run in the store because, again, like, it's super annoying that they insist on running around in defensive mode and making people who don't normally free aim in order to fight them. And the fact that they also take 40% less damage is just super cheap. They're just using this as a crutch. They do get us out of the store, and they do manage to kill us a few times. And that's just like when we decide to leave because, we already did what we came to do. We embarrassed Warchief. We made him leave the lobby once. We made SMG Finest leave the lobby too. And it was just ridiculous to keep fighting them at this point because it was just them putting themselves at the advantage by hiding in defensive mode. And I noticed that in his videos, Finest will say that they need defensive mode because they're at a disadvantage when fighting auto-aimers, but that's just not the case at all. If anything, they're putting the auto-aimers at a disadvantage because they're making the auto-aimers conform to playing free aim when they're not used to playing it. In my opinion, I think it's fair if both players can play their respective play styles. It's just not our fault that the auto-aim function is a lot faster than free aiming. And if you made it to this point in the video, I really appreciate it. I know it was a long one, but there was a lot that had to be said about these guys and the lunacy that is this free aim community. I know that if a lot of their groupies see this video, it's going to get a lot of hate, but I honestly don't really care because we clap them anyway. And if they have to come and talk shit online about us after they got clapped in the game, it just means that they're sorry as fuck and they're sore losers. And I might be doing a part 2 to this video because SMG Warchief and some other SMG people did attempt to jump on somebody from our PvP community as revenge. but I will emphasize attempt because they failed pretty miserably and they just did some really embarrassing things. So watch out for that. It might be coming out soon.